remain seated until you're asked to stand later in our program. The Scouts will be presenting.
To do that, local districts and PACs rely on good leaders and community support. Thus, annually, the Lincoln Heritage District holds a
We'd like to welcome our honored guest, Archbishop Daniel Beekline, to the assembly.
Our flag is made of 13 stripes of red and white, a patch of blue, and some 5-pointed stars. But they are just pieces of cloth. When these pieces of cloth are joined by thousands of stitches, the end result is the flag of the United States of America, the emblem of our country. Those thousands of stitches represent us, we the people. We each have an individual responsibility to help hold together what our flag represents. We must be strong and hold steadfast to our job of being good American citizens. If we accept this responsibility, then our country will remain one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. America needs citizens with a concern for the common good, people who have the understanding and insight to help solve her problems and those of the changing world around us. America needs citizens who appreciate her heritage and are determined to pass those ideals of our free society onto the next generation. On this day and every day, we must do our best to help others and to show by our actions that we are worthy of our country.
No, so please take it easy on it. My job tonight is to tell you a little bit about scouting in our district and in Du Bois County, and I'm very pleased to let you know that scouting in Du Bois County is alive and well, as if you didn't already know. We currently have over 750 active and participating youth within our county alone, which is quite an achievement. In our county itself. They participate in a wide variety of activities, ranging from weekly den meetings all the way up to periodic camping trips, annual major events. This year we had one group of scouts go up to Canada and canoed and caught fish and lived out of tents without any kind of cabins. John Sang, I think, is here tonight. He was part of that. They had a fantastic time. Boys Life magazine went with them, a photographer, and they're going to be featured in an upcoming issue of that. Some of our kids as well have been down skiing in Tennessee, and they participate as an exploring crew down there, and were very successful. The principles of scouting, I got a little more time. Law. And I'm going to read this, Bob. This isn't because I don't remember. It's just because I got the bright lights on me tonight, okay? Helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. And they're in that order by any means. And to me, the principles of scouting that means the most is the scout oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the scout law, to help our people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. And in today's world, that can be a real challenge. I think those basic principles fundamentally are what our youth need today. And I don't know about you, but if my son grows up and uses those as a baseline to guide him, I'll be very proud. And I plan to keep pushing him in that direction. Everybody was having fun. Virtually all of them were getting really dirty. And they were all being very safe. And I thought to myself, well, it's not exactly what I envisioned, but boy, what a great way to spend a Friday night. Those kids were all having a lot of fun, learning about themselves, learning about their friends, building some relationships themselves. In summary, it was organized chaos, but it was a great way to spend a Friday night. And my wife did leave right after I got there. A little bit about developing our youth. You know, behind development in our youth is got to be some good leadership. And we are really blessed in Du Bois County. We have over 200 registered adult volunteers in this county alone to help the 750 scouts grow themselves and develop their character. Volunteers go through some training. They're not paid. They give up their time freely. And I encourage you, when you see a scout leader, you know, recognize the scouts as putting forth the effort, but there's a leader behind every one of those that also needs to be recognized themselves. You see several of them here tonight in uniform, that if you get a chance, shake their hand and say thank you. It means a lot to the kids and to our scouting program. In addition, each troop and pack is sponsored by a local organization. And in your program tonight, I believe it's on the 6th page, is a list of all the Du Bois County organizations that sponsor scouting troops or packs or dens, and the leaders that are associated with them. And those organizations have responsibility to make sure there's an adequate place for them to have meetings and to make sure that the leadership is strong. And strong meaning they're there, they live the scout principles themselves, they're on time, they're organized, they're the right person to lead. And it is quite an accomplishment. To achieve Eagle Scout, each child or scout must earn 21 merit badges. Of those, 12 are required. And briefly I'd like to tell you what those are. Citizenship in the nation, citizenship in the world, communication, emergency preparedness or life-saving, environmental sciences, first aid, cycling, hiking or swimming, personal management, personal fitness, and family life. All those things are things that I'm very proud I had to go through, and I use virtually every one of those, maybe not every day, but at least every week. They're good basic fundamentals that scouts are required to achieve the badge. In addition, they have to do a service project. And a service project is something that is to benefit the community in general. Most of the time the scouts do these projects and they do not get recognition. You may not realize that these scouts have done an Eagle project in your area, but trust me, they're there. This past year we had 14 individuals from Du Bois County revamping or restoring the Way of the Cross behind Holy Family Church, to a shelter house at Calvary Baptist Church in Huntingburg. They erected a shelter house there, to painting the playground and park equipment at Ferdinand. These things happen unannounced. There is no celebration. It's just a requirement of the Scouts. You may not know it, but they are taking care of our community and contributing to our community. And finally, just a few comments about tonight's banquet. It was mentioned earlier, this is one of the 3 major fundraisers we have for Scouting in Du Bois County. The other 2 are the Friends of Scouting campaign that happens in the spring of the year. Many of you contribute to that, and I thank you. Also, the popcorn sale activity, which is currently underway, and I believe it wraps up on Friday. So it's not too late, boys, if you got your forms over. Funding that will go to help keep the Scouting program strong. And finally, the reason why we're here tonight, I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate Archbishop Daniel Beekline. You, my friend, are truly a distinguished citizen. You're truly a role model. Many of these people are here tonight to recognize you and to pay tribute to you and what you've done, not only in Jasper, but all the communities that you've been involved in. So I realize that you recognize you've had a lot of influence, but the influence is much greater than I think you probably recognize, and it carries on far and above what you see.
Carl and Rose Beekline lived in a modest home on the south edge of Jasper, Indiana. Born in 1938, Mark Beekline grew up there with his older brother, Charlie. His parents taught him to live the Catholic faith. They were faithful in both word and deed in their duties as Catholic parents. Mark joined the Boy Scouts at age 11, following in the footsteps of his older brother, who also was a scout. His interest in scouting grew through campouts and water sports and other adventures. He eventually became an Eagle Scout and received the Distinguished Eagle Scout Award. He also was honored as a recipient of the Eddie Rote Memorial Trophy.
Bishop was described as a loyal friend, one with courage to face and make decisions, one who had the wisdom to select those who could accomplish what needed to be done, serious yet fun, humble, simple, and at peace, a leader.
Will the Scout escorts please bring our honored guests forward to be recognized? Throughout the world, by dedicating ourselves to duty to God, our country, and to others. Tonight we recognize a leader who has met that challenge and is, by all standards, a good scout. What is the definition of a good scout? A good scout lives so that he reflects credit upon his home, church, friends, and self. A good scout is loyal. Neither pain nor profit, pride nor personal loss shall sway his loyalty. To thine own self be true is a way of life. A good scout is courageous. With trust in God and faith in his fellow man, he faces each day unafraid and seeks his share of the world's work to do. A good scout is service-oriented. He extends a helping hand. He upholds the rights of others. A real leadership is founded upon the honor of presenting you this year's Distinguished Citizen Award. Thank you for what you have done for our community, and let me be the first to congratulate you as a recipient of the 2003 Distinguished Citizen Award. Thank you.
Very much. I'd like to begin by thanking Larry Wade and the Executive Committee, Chris, Tim, for your kind words. Gene, thank you for managing this evening's affair. Thanks, Scouts. Tremendous gift to me and to my brother and all of us who shared the scouting experience together. I do want to acknowledge tonight Bill Holler, who was the scoutmaster, and Bob Siebert, who was the explorer post leader when I was in these forts. Scouting is as good as leadership, as I said earlier, and Jasper is tremendously blessed to have had consistently good leaders to help the Scouts. I mean, it's a testimony to know that 750-some Scouts in this council in this area are so blessed by the leadership. I congratulate all of you who contribute to that, and I add my own personal thanks. I owe so much to Scouting. I see Stoner Keg, Lessington, and others who were in the Scouts with me here tonight. We could tell a lot of stories, but I won't do that. The terrible thing I can do tonight is to say, stay with Scouting. Its traditional values are so tremendously important in our culture today. It couldn't be more important. All you have to do is, as somebody remarked, read the papers. And you know that Scouting itself has become a countercultural movement. And for that, I'm grateful. And thank you all. I thank my classmate, Father Gregory, for saying nice things about me. Tonight he could tell you other things. And Father Tony, of course, has an interest in being good. So, Father Gregory didn't have to be. I thank all of you so much. And my family, I'm proud of you. Thank you for all. Thanks, God.
For WJTS, 27 minutes, this is Tony Frick.
Is a dynamic, inspirational speaker with a sense of humor who believes that learning should be both fun and informative. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Harold Yoakum.
I said, "You're wearing your wedding ring on the wrong finger." And he said, "I married the wrong woman."
Harold Yoakum used simple stories and jokes to bring across a message, the importance of a positive attitude and a team spirit.
The system is geared to offset that, so we need to learn to laugh more. Well, I didn't come here to talk about laughing, but I do use a lot of laughter. But I thought what I would talk about was teamwork. And in an organization such as this, and when you're working to build that community, you have to work as a team. You have to put it all together. You have to put your personal differences aside, your personal competitiveness, let's say business per business, and we have to put it all together for the good of that community. And this community has been good at that. And not to embarrass these two people, but I had the privilege a few years ago of speaking at one of their organizational meetings in French Lick, and they had that whole room full of people. And I still remembered, I was telling Archival about it, they were sitting in the front row, and I made this comment that I've never seen a better team working together than these two. You have to have team. You have to have one that's over here who's supportive of the one over here, and the one over here has these abilities and talents to add to these abilities and talents over here. And that's what teamwork is all about. When we're putting this all together in this community, and we're all brought in here to do that, and we all do our own thing, might be little, might be large, but it's part of the team. You know, if I make the one free throw, the only point of the game, but it wins the game, I contribute just as much as anybody. If I'm on the team and the team wins, I win. And that's what it's all about. When we talk about this win-win thing, that's what it's all about. Now, I help you win, you see I win. This is what it's all about. So many communities, you know, it's a win-lose thing. Because, you know, if I help you win, then I lose. And we can't look at it that way. So I like to think of us working together as that team. And I love to use a different acronym than most people use for team. You know, there's an old acronym that you've heard over the years that together everyone achieves more. But I made up my own, and as far as I know, this is mine. Together, enthusiastic attitudes motivate. See, we work together. Enthusiasm rubs off. You can't be in a room of enthusiastic people before you're just as crazy as they are. You know, if somebody around you, if they're all excited and you go in there like, yeah, you know, don't you love this? You tell somebody good morning and they come back, well, it's good about it. Together we plan. Together we set goals. Together we achieve. Togetherness, that's the T. Together we communicate. How often it's like we're still playing that child's game. That's for me to know and you to find out. I get so sick of businesses that don't communicate their mission, their goals, and their plans to their employees. And yet they expect them to succeed and help the business succeed when they have no idea which direction we're supposed to be going. We've got to learn to communicate. You got to be like the guy. He was traveling and he felt bad because he's away from his wife so long, so he thought, well, I'll send her a present. And he sent her a parrot.
Press recognition was given to area employees who were nominated for their wow approach in their treatment of customers, showing hospitality and warmth to those they served. Du Bois County Tourism President of the Board of Directors, Robert Rookriegel, presented those awards.
The wow and hospitality customer service that was held earlier this year. Before we present the award, I would like to recognize two other individuals with certificates of recognition for the outstanding display of hospitality that they routinely show in their daily work. Teresa Bounds from the Huntingburg Subway, known for her friendly and caring standard of customer service. She serves as an excellent role model for the young and teenagers who enter the workforce and demonstrates her high standards for the consideration that she shows everyone with whom she comes in contact with. Unfortunately, she couldn't be with us today and will present her award, her certificate at a later date. Another individual we'd like to recognize is Mr. Ed Windholt, who works at the Days Inn. Ed is known for his outstanding hospitality. For example, he routinely clears the snow off of guest cars and shovels the snow from around their vehicles so they don't have to stand out in cold weather and scrape their cars off and this type of thing. It's actions such as this that makes visitors in Du Bois County return again and again, all because they know they'll be treated well. Please join me. Award has been described as constantly expressing a personal, warm-hearted overall welcome to each and every visitor or tourist she meets. She truly puts all her energy in assuring that every guest receives a wow experience, whether she is touring one person or a group of 50 people. On many days, she repeats her tours 5 times. Let me tell you, if you repeat a tour 5 times, and keep the momentum up that this lady keeps up, there's something else, because that's something to be very, very outstanding enthusiasm that she showed on the first tour of the day. Believe me, she does never wind down. She sincerely cares about people, enjoys meeting and sharing with people, and truly believes in what she is doing. Again, back to Harold's talk, you believe in what you're doing, and it's a lot of fun, and you never wind down. Well, this lady here, she also makes an effort to keep informed of the many other attractions and activities in DuBois County, and makes this information available to all of our guests. Please join me in congratulating Sister Mary Longtime of the Monastery.
Behind the scenes that we are doing to try and bring more tourism into DuBois County.
County Tourism Director Rita Howe listing some of the accomplishments and goals of the Commission. For WJTS 27 Minutes, this is Tony Frick.
With providing the visiting groups information about the sights and sounds and cuisines of DuBois County.
On this September 11th, the Car and Quilt Show, sponsored by the Greater Downtown Jasper Business Association, were both on the same day. The autos entered covered a wide range of years, models, and styles.
This isn't a bad looking Ford, you know?
With the judges just beginning their survey of the shines and the engines, we just had to ask what they were looking for.
What kind of survey?
I don't know. We're looking for the cleanliness of the car, shiny chrome, straight, clean bodywork, no rips and tears in the seats, carpet, that sort of thing.
Okay, it has to be authentic also?
It can be authentic or it can be modified, but it just has to look good, has to fit good. Score. The lower scores for worse condition and higher scores for better condition. Well, it'd be hard to say. We do it differently at different shows.
Okay.
But I haven't seen anything perfect yet, and I haven't seen anything really bad yet either. So
Okay.
somewhere in between. Oh, there's a top 25, and then there's different like best of show, best different awards for different certain things, best paint, best interior, different categories, GM, Ford, Dodge. That's right.
And do you recommend a certain polish?
Oh, not really. Just something that'll shine it up.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the more expensive ones usually work better than the cheaper ones. I do.
So you enjoy doing this?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
That's a turbocharged Spider. What that is.
Okay. And what does that mean?
That means they didn't make very many of them, and it's a Corvair 1964 Corvair turbocharged Spider.
And power?
It has 150 horses and it's got a 4-speed. And it's a Corvair, and Ralph Nader tried to outlaw him, but he didn't get this one.
I'd like to know.
I'd like to know.
A trike and made from a VW rear end and Honda motorcycle front end. And the added feature to it is different than anything else or any other trikes, is it has a steering wheel.
Okay.
And I can pull wheelies. I was 63 years old, and I did it just so for a toy to take to places like this and ride around town, and I don't know, just something different. I want to be different than the experience of being a body man like I am. That's all I've done since I was 29 years old. Motorcycles and the Harleys, there wasn't anything like this, and people would stop, get off the, because it's red and it's different.
And it shines.
And it needs to shine more. That's what I started on here, to make it shine a little bit more, but because I trailered it up here and get the bugs and things off.
Okay, I'll let you get back to shining so that the surveyors or the judges that are going around can get a good shot of it.
Looking good when they see it, so maybe I'll get a trophy. And if I don't, that's still okay. I got a lot of trophies and I have a lot of fun anyway.
Okay.
That's the main thing.
250 here and 275.
Okay, this is our 13th annual Tri-Kappa garage sale and auction. Like you said, we've been doing this for many years. And all the proceeds that we make from the garage sale and auction go to the local community in a lot of different areas. Primarily, we have projects like Clothe the Children, which we'll be doing this fall, which works with needy kids within the community, and we do clothes and things for them, so we go shopping with them. That's always one of our most fun events. Then we do a lot with the schools, summer tutoring programs, educational history programs that we actually go into the schools and talk about Indiana history. Scholarship programs, we give away 5 different scholarships throughout the year for college-bound students, and just many, many more local organizations as well that we support.
This isn't something that just happens on Saturday, right? There's a lot.
Actually, in about 2 months as far as getting our date, and it's just an annual process that we go through and talk about at each meeting. So there are a lot that goes into it. We try to make it an organized. Members within our organizations, all local women that donate their time to support the organization. Donate their items, same items that maybe they would have at their own garage sales, they donate them. Compared to the garage sale, so we always appreciate people coming out for the auction.
Go give me 15, now 15, say 15, make it 15. I got $10 bill, here's 15, what would happen?
Tri-Kappa is actually a statewide organization. We're the Delta Chi chapter of Tri-Kappa, but it had a long history, and it's throughout the state of Indiana, so there are chapters all around that do the same type of. We do social events as well, but really our 3 primary charters, if you will, are charity, culture, and education. So we really try to focus on all of those 3 areas. Hospital that we support as far as philanthropic statewide organizations.
For WJTS 27 Minutes, this is Tony Frick.
turtle, butterfly.
That sounds more like you.
Sounds more like you.
I think that
Pretty
sounds
little
more
girl
like
with
you.
Jasper Kiwanis Kitty Carnival 2005 offers its members of business professionals an opportunity for fun. It is also a volunteer service project that offers fun for area children.
Girl, where are you going to put it? Over here. We can put it on your arm or your leg. Like we could put it right here. It could be flying right on your arm.
Mark the kids when they come into the daycare. They've got to check in. Head Start said they're leaving a card sale, so they'll be here. Head Start people said that. So
We spoke with Kiwanis.
the 57th year for the Kitty Carnival, so it's been a long time.
Okay, every year down here and man your stations. Why?
Well, the first thing is that when you see all these little kids down here, these are kids, from kindergarten up through, 9 or 10 years old. And the idea is they can, all these rides are very cheap. We're talking 50 cents a ride or a quarter. Some of the things are free. So they get to do a lot of repetitions on stuff where they can't maybe normally do at some of the other events. And so they have a great time. They have a lot of fun, and the raffle goes on. They see the big raffle barrel. They get to see the prizes. We'll have the pet parade at 6:30. The magician comes at 5. So there's a lot of families that bring a lot of kids down, and it's not a big area, so that the kids can walk around. And today we'll go for other youth service programs.
How would you like a fire helmet?
A majority of it goes to Riley Hospital up in Indianapolis. Some goes to the pediatric unit at Memorial Hospital. But for the middle school, we have a middle school builders club. We have a key club in the high school. We have the bug program up at Du Bois High School. I mean, there's a number of different programs that go on that we give money to, for the different various age groups.
You want a fire helmet? Can you tell me what color the fire trucks are?
Red.
Red. Very good. Can I put a fire helmet on you? Okay. And how would you like a little fire Dalmatian dog? Watch him so you don't bite.
I got your question.
Okay. '96. So Kiwanis really is an international club, and that brings me to the next thing is that some of the money we'll make. Kiwanis International has a program for iodine deficiency, which is one of those correctable worldwide programs. Everybody in the United States assumes that there's iodine in the salt, whether they know it or not, which is very important to your development. In many third world countries, there's no iodine in the salt, and there are very severe birth defects that occur, in connection with growth if you don't have iodine. Just a small amount. Division contributes to the United States Division. The United States gives money on behalf of this iodine deficiency program to wipe out iodine deficiency worldwide. Kiwanis is very close to succeeding in that.
You're welcome. Would you like a fire helmet? There you go. How about to sit in the fire truck? You want to do that? That'd be fun.
Now we're going to put some red on this guy. Look at
I'm going to take your picture.
Okay.
And why do you think that fellowship and service project is still going on all this time?
Well, I think everybody wants to be successful in the business or whatever event, the business they're connected with, whatever profession they are. And give back. And certainly in a group like the Kiwanis is, a service organization, it's easier to do that. And you can make a bigger impact. And you look at all the folks that are here today, whether they are Kiwanis members or Key Club members, they're all here to try to give back and make this event happen. And it takes everybody to do it.
Okay. To start it out, you have to match up the end.
Climb up here. What number is this? Number two, very good. Let's climb up here.
Kiwanis have helped building those large smiles on small faces. Family and younger club members pitch in, including Key Club members, such as 2005-2006 Club Secretary Courtney Canese and her group. We asked Courtney about the Key Club and its service involvement.
What is Key Club and what does it involve?
Key Club is about service. It's Key actually stands for Kiwanis Educating Youth. So the Kiwanis Club works with us, and we go and do service throughout the year. We have 257 members this past year. We're one of the largest in the state. We start the year off by doing Kiddie Carnival. We have crafts here and a little ball toss that they can do. And then we also work at the Strassen Fest. 0.1 miles. We have a toy drive. We help with Coast for Kids. We do canned food drive. We're just busy all the time. So the 257 members, we get a lot done. Thousands and thousands of service hours are put in. Kiwanis is like an old Indian name or something.
Ah, okay.
I actually did that because I was the bulletin editor last year, so that was one of the trivia facts.
It is $12, $4, or 3/4 quarter.
Yeah, it's 12.
Indian phase, Nunquiwanas are Greek.
Yeah, and that's what our shirts actually have on them this year. It's building better tomorrows.
Okay.
So Key Club took that and ran with that this year. So, and then the motto for Key Club is carrying our way of life. That's what the Key Club motto is.
Okay. Like to join?
If you want to join Key Club, you can just come before you find out the details, and it's so much fun. It's like the most rewarding club that I'm in because you get satisfaction out of what you do right away.
Wow. Be careful. Lucas, look! Look! Tyrannosaurus! Here's mustard.
Even the annual shower did not dampen the spirit of giving to build the community and help meet some of its needs. For WJTS 27 Minutes, this is Tony Frick.
We can find one for you. We got teams. There's a guy eating up all the profit back here.
You pay, that's all you do. We worry about where you've been.
Oh, no, I hear it.
It's registered now. Your pocket's on fire.
I need a couple of Yeah, Kyle. Yeah.
Me on that video? Yes, hot dogs are in.
State Department food.
Mustard.
From Kitty Carnival.
That's
right.
You have to be actually from Jasper.
Very light seasoning.
This is actually the best hot dog I ever had. That's what my husband said.
Yeah, these are special cut.
Just resell them. You want to take which brownie you want?
It's an unseasoned. I told him that you special made. Yeah, I might forget.
Brother, he's the one that
Yeah, thanks.
How you doing, Parker?
Hi, guys. How would you like a fire helmet? You want a fire helmet?
At some point you feel you don't want...
The 50 cents. Maybe 50.
Are you okay? How would you like a fire helmet? You want a fire helmet? Can you tell me what color the fire trucks are? Red. Very good. Can I put a fire helmet on you? Okay.
They do.
And how would you like a little fire Dalmatian dog? Watch him so you don't bite. Would you like one? You're welcome. Would you like a fire helmet? There you go. How about the sitting fire truck? You want to do that? That'd be fun. Let's climb up here. What number is this? Number 2. Number 2. Very good. Let's climb up here. Oh, it's too big. Keep climbing. Keep climbing. Okay, can you turn the steering wheel? Okay, there you go.
How much does it
It's
cost
very
to make
big, isn't it?
something? Uh-huh.
Isn't that neat?
How much does it? How much does it cost?
Are you driving to the fire?
Story, can you look at Mama? Take a picture. Look at here.
Oh, hurry.
Marissa, get down here.
Yeah.
Okay, one more, buddy. Ready? My face, my arm. I'm going in this way.
Everybody just came in.
Congressman Mike Sodrill is here. Congressman, welcome. Thank you for being here.
The Lincoln Heritage District Council
no truth to the rumor that Hank Menke and Doug Bobble are competitive.
Wade began the award portion of the ceremony, referring to a study that showed the benefit.
A recent study called The Values of Americans, a study of ethics and character, examines the values held by our society, and more specifically by American youth. The impact Scouting has on the values of youth and adults was also a focus of the study. The study shows that youth today have some difficult choices to make, and they don't always make the best choices. But Scouting helps youth build strong ethics and values. So when a Scout is faced with a tough decision, they are more likely to make the right decision, not the easiest decision. In the study, Scouting is shown to make a difference in the lives of youth. Compared with youth who have never been in Scouting program, boys who have been Scouts for 5 or more years have higher self-confidence, are more likely to resist peer pressure, are less likely to consume alcohol, are more willing to help others, report earning higher grades in school, and are more likely to volunteer to be a leader. Findings from the study indicate that the positive effects of Scouting last a lifetime, and our recipient is an example of that. This fall, more than 2,000 new youth will join Buffalo Trace Council. Our success in helping the youth join and stay in our programs is vital to their well-being as youth and as adults. Your efforts as a donor make an important difference in the lives of youth. Thanks for caring about the kids.
This year, the Lincoln Heritage District Distinguished Citizens Award Banquet honored Huntingburg-style
It's not something you did once upon a time. It's a building block in your life that stays with you forever, and I know it has for me. I first met Hank Menke in 1988. I was his pastor at Salem United Church of Christ in Huntingburg. Now, if you've ever been in Salem Church in Huntingburg, one of the first things you notice on the right-hand side, about halfway down, was this distinguished-looking man with a lovely wife. And I'm up there preaching, and all of a sudden I see him taking copious notes.
with a reflection of honoree Hank Menke.
Down what you're saying, it's a real rush for you. And so as I watched him taking these notes, I started to fantasize. You know, I bet you he takes those bullet points from my sermons, and he takes them home, and he probably puts them on that little thing in his car, and he looks at them while he's driving, and he takes them to heart, and he's trying to live out those principles. Or maybe he puts it on his bedside table, and it's the last thing he looks at night before he says his prayers. Or maybe he has it on the bedside table. It's the first thing he looks at when he gets up, when he does his morning devotions. Or maybe he has it taped on his mirror where he shaves in the morning, and he looks at those and he said, "This is how I'm going to live today." Well, then I got to know Hank. And what I found out he was really doing out there during my sermon was his to-do list for Monday, or maybe his 1-year plan, or 5-year plan, or 10-year plan, wherever his mind was that day. But he assured me that he can listen and write at the same time. Sorry, buddy. It's only a job. August 5th. Chin, the president of Dauphin Seating. And as I walked, Gary told me this story. He said 21 years ago they had a Haitian refugee walk into Dauphin, spoke no English, was hungry, looked frightened, but he wanted work. So Gary said they gave Manny a job. Now he started at Dauphin Seating where everybody starts. You take the little casters and put them in a 5-prong base. Nice job. All day long, 5 casters in a base, 400 chairs a day, do the math. That was his role in that company when he started. Afterwards, he got into mechanisms. And then he moved up to upholstery. And then he moved up to packing and shipping. And then he became a foreman for the company. Gary said everyone liked Manny. He was one of those people that it was a joy to have around, and he was someone that the company really appreciated. Well, Manny came to him in February, knocked on Gary's door. Gary said, "Manny, come in." Got away from his desk, got next to him in a chair, said, "How's your son doing in college? How's your 2 kids in high school? How's your wife doing?" You know, all the things CEOs do to make you feel like you really matter. He said, "Gary, I want to retire." Gary said, "I was a little bewildered. 39 years of age. He came to us when he was 18. He said, I thought, how in the world is he going to support himself? So he said, just ask him, Manny, you've got a child in college, you've got 2 kids in high school. How are you going to earn a living? What are you going to do with your time?" Manny said, "Gary, when I first came to this country, I was told you could do anything you wanted if you worked hard and played by the rules. So that first year I lived with some relatives, saved all my checks from here at Dauphin. And I went to the bank and I took those checks and I asked them for a loan on a 4-unit apartment building in New York City. I lived in one of them, we fixed up the other 3 and rented them out, had my relatives help with the work." He said, "Well, Gary, last Friday, I was with my accountant, getting my taxes ready. He said, Manny, after we paid all the maintenance people that got to work for you, paid you your handsome salary, paid off your taxes, all your bills, you made $1.8 million net profit this year." And Manny said, "You know, Gary, I looked at my wife and said, I don't think I have to make chairs anymore." $1.8 net million from a Haitian refugee that came here looking for work. Discovered is in northern Indiana, we miss some of the most talented and industrious people that are in the state of Indiana because they reside right here in Du Bois County. Tonight we gather in a county that has been blessed with a history of dreamers. I mean, think of people like Alvin Ruxer, Arnold Habig, Clem Longy, Walter Ubalor, Paul Eberhard, Bob Mackey, Charles Stefano, Bob Siebert, Mac McMurtry, and a host of others who have blessed us with their leadership and their vision and their dreams. People who looked out and saw what others could not see and made us see it with them because of the passion in their heart. I hooked my wagon to one of those dreamers 10 years ago. I learned from Hank that part of the dream is that you have to have the resolve to succeed. And the greatest discovery you can make in the process is that nothing is impossible. Nothing. One of the things I love about OFS, and it comes from the top through the whole organization, the answer is not no when you make that phone call. The answer is how do we make it happen? And how do we make it happen together? But Hank's also taught me it's not just enough to dream. For to make a dream a reality, you have to surround yourself with great people. And you have to motivate them to be the best that they can be as they work beside you and with you. And you have to believe in them as much as they believe in you. because it's that partnership that makes it happen. You have to have the heart of a lion that says, I will take that risk even though I know that risk is great and I can fail. And when you have those setbacks, you do what it says in the Old Testament. You set your face, and you set your face forward, and you move forward with resolve, and you stay the course. When we are making presentations about OFS, we are quick to point out we are not Steelcase, we are not Herman Miller, we are not Hayworth, we're not as big as Knoll. But you know, when I make those presentations and I'm standing there, I feel someone over my shoulder whispering in my ear, and it's Hank. No, we're not as big as them. Not yet. Thank you.
I was doing this actually basically last night. Thanks, Dad. Well, I want to try to relate Eagle Scouts more to this event and in honoring my father. Like Mike said, it does take dreamers, and you can hear a lot of times that the old cliche, the world needs dreamers, son. The world needs dreamers. And it's always kind of a put down. But the world does need dreamers, and I think my father is absolutely a dreamer as well as his father. But you also need doers. And that is shown through hard work, dedication, perseverance, luck, and surrounding yourself with great people. All things are possible. There's an Eagle Scout doctrine, and I've learned a lot about Eagle Scouts actually today. There's an Eagle Scout doctrine called the Call of the Eagle. And in that doctrine they talk about climbing the summit and achieving this high honor of being an Eagle Scout. And at the beginning they talk about how overwhelming it is to stand there at the bottom of the mountain and look up and see this mountain you're trying to climb. It can be overwhelming. So little by little you just have to reach up and grab your first handhold, then set your foot and just hand over hand gently start climbing up that mountain. And before you know it, you're going to be getting higher and higher and higher, and all of a sudden that mountain top's not so far away. And you're going to make mistakes along the way. And as long as you learn from them, you always succeed. You also have to take the time to reflect on your accomplishments. That's going to be the fuel to keep pushing you on, to keep climbing and trying to get to the top of that mountain. And as the farther up you get, the more narrow that trail is going to get, the tougher it's going to be, the fainter it's going to be, and many people are going to falter along the way, but I believe it's the true leaders that actually seize that apex. In 1970, at 18 years of age, my dad accomplished being an Eagle Scout. He got to the top of that mountain. And I'm kind of a numbers guy, so I wanted to figure out how many Eagle Scouts there are at 1970 when he became an Eagle Scout, how many Eagle Scouts there were as a percent of the population, just to see what kind of feat this actually was. And it came up to be 0.0001% of the U.S. population had actually achieved this status of an Eagle Scout. So it just kind of sets that bar of what an accomplishment this really is. So where the name came from, what are the core values of an Eagle Scout? What is an Eagle Scout? Well, they have a credo, and their 5 obligations they have to fulfill is to live with honor, loyalty, courage, cheerfulness, and service. For those of you that don't know my father, and for those of you who do know that he is all of those characteristics, both in his home life, his work life, and his community life. And I believe that's been his formula for success. He goes to work every day with those values, and it's those values that help drive him and be successful in all of business, community, and personal life and family life. To close, I'd like to share a story with you that it was something that happened long when I was a child. And I think it'll depict these values that I find in my father and I see every day when I work with him. When I was about 8 or 9 years old, I asked him, I said, Dad, why do you work so much? All my other friends, their dads are out here coaching and playing in the yard with them, and you're working all the time. Why are you working so much? So he went, I don't know if you remember this or not, but at that time I think we had like 300 employees. And he said, Ryan, people see 300 people on paper. That's what they see. I have 300 employees, but to me, I'm responsible for 1,200 people. At 8 to 9 years old, I really didn't get it. And he said, you got to think that every employee has a spouse and probably has 2 children. So I'm now responsible for those 1,200 people. I have a responsibility and a duty to make sure they have a roof over their head, clothing on their back, and foods on their table. You probably don't remember that, but it stuck with me.
Each speaker noted how Hank Minke exemplified scouting qualities.
That if you look at the Scout Oath, that need to be personified, and I have certainly seen, whether it's been vacationing, skiing with his family, helping them bury loved ones, or seeing or his son get married. I've shared all sorts of experiences with Hank, and 2 things that I can tell you. Having known this man for as many years and as well as I do, trustworthiness and loyalty are, I think, qualities that all Scouts aspire and should aspire to have.
It's an honor camper organization that you're elected to by your peers, and only a limited number of campers are elected each year to this organization. And as a part of the ordeal, you had to spend a night in the wilderness in solitude. They give you your sleeping bag. I think you get a roll of 8 and 2 matches. I'm not sure what those were for.
While Jimmy Dan Connor reflected into this with Hank, attorney Phil Schneider reflected on the boyhood memories and Eagle Scout experiences.
On both sides of the road, the entry road that came up to Camp Pohoka, and it was about a quarter-mile road, as I recall. So they gathered us together early in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. They gave us axes and saws and shovels. And we started with earnest to clear all the brush and vines and everything away. By about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, most of us were exhausted. We were sitting around. We were exhausted. We couldn't do another lick of work. I looked over there, and there's Hank working like it was 7 o'clock in the morning. Vines going all over the place, bushes going all over the place. We tried to motion to Hank to cool it, man. You're making us look bad. But Hank, he didn't hear anything about it. That's one thing about Hank. Once he's committed, he gives 200%. And I always remember that OA ordeal and Hank's effort. We finally finished that project. Office furniture, creating hundreds of jobs, with hundreds of high-paying jobs for our local residents here in Du Bois County. And no matter where you go in continental United States, you'll see an OFS Skyline truck transporting furniture that's made here in Du Bois County by our citizens here in Du Bois County. And it's due to Hank's innovation and his vision. Hank's innovation and his innovative approach to marketing and manufacturing has also been an inspiration, I think, to all the manufacturers in Du Bois County to become more competitive and therefore stronger in their marketplaces. And so I think you've had a great influence on industry in general here in Du Bois County. While the biographical sketch in the program tonight on Hank, it details some of his professional business and public accomplishments, it doesn't really reveal Hank's generosity and compassion that he displays in his private life. Hank truly is a distinguished citizen of Du Bois County. And Hank, I congratulate you on an honor, a very appropriate honor. And I consider it an honor to be your friend.
It's a privilege to extend to you congratulations on your receiving the Boy Scouts Distinguished Service Award by the Buffalo Trace Council. Your outstanding leadership.
Following the reflections, a letter of recognition from a former Eagle Scout was read.
Provides skills and experience in friendship and commitment to achieve one's goals. My own participation in Scouting program was a most rewarding and eventful time in which I enjoyed learning and developing friendships that have remained throughout my life. I am certain that your contributions have been a great asset to the Boy Scouts of the Huntingburg area and that your participation is very much appreciated. I regret that I am unable to attend this evening as you are being honored, but appreciate having this opportunity to join with your family, friends, and all those in the audience in expressing much gratitude for your leadership in the community. Sincerely, Richard G. Luger, Eagle Scout and United States Senator.
Well,
the Scout escorts please bring our honored guest forward to be honored? Present you with a bouquet of long-stemmed roses, for they signify the loving support you have shared with your husband throughout the years. In our opening ceremony, we spoke of patriotism and the challenge to keep the spirit of Scouting alive throughout the world by dedicating ourselves to duty to God, our country, and to others. Tonight we recognize a leader of the community who met this challenge and by all standards is a good Scout. What is the definition of a good Scout? A good Scout lives so that he reflects credit upon his home, church, friends, and self. A good Scout is loyal. Neither pain nor profit, pride nor personal loss shall sway his loyalty. To thine own self be true is a way of life. A good Scout is courageous. With trust in God and faith in his fellow man, he faces each day unafraid and seeks his share of the world's work to do. A good Scout is service-oriented. He extends a helping hand. He upholds the rights of others. Real leadership is founded upon real service. Mr. Mankey, on behalf of the Scouts of Lincoln Heritage District of the Buffalo Trace Council, I have the distinct honor of presenting you this year's Distinguished Citizen Award.
What makes him special because he's such a great golfer, and he can play with such a lousy golfer like me and still have fun. It's just amazing he can even do that. But anyway, thank you, Junior, for that. And Ryan, for somebody that just got noticed one day ahead, you must have spent all night long looking at the internet. Special. And also want to thank Dad and Mother. Mother was big time in Cub Scouts, Den Mother and all that, and then Dad came along and it was through his energy and push and drive and getting Phil and I together to actually accomplish getting an Eagle Scout. Because I don't think, had he really been the driving force behind it, I don't think I would have made it without his help. So I really do appreciate that. Again, I want to thank the committee, the DCA committee. Cheryl, I want to really thank you. I also want to thank the advertisers and the suppliers. To raise $31,000, I'm just real pleased by that. It's amazing how people can give and just keep giving and what they'll do. And I'm just real pleased at the fact that we were able to raise this kind of money, and also to see that this kind of crowd here tonight is just really neat to see. And last but not least, I want to thank my friends and my associates. I tell you, really, to be honest with you, it's all of you that made me. Most of you out there ought to be up here getting the Distinguished Award because it's you that's why I'm here, and I really do appreciate the efforts behind all of you and what you do for us. It's unbelievable, and that's why I can be here tonight. So I'm trying to be short. I want to be short, but anyway. But I do want to thank the Boy Scouts. It's a great organization. It's meant a lot to me and growing up in my life. It's been and just I can't tell you how thankful I am to be a part of this organization. So with that, I'll say thank you and good night.
For WJTS 27 Minutes, this is Tony Frick.
labor of love, I know, for the folks who are all volunteers to run this museum. We have an opportunity. I'd like to thank Tina Deering.
We can go right and start over this way together.
Whether their caring is a passion for history, a hobby, or a sport. Heroism in Du Bois County is active.
It's important that we recognize people that spend their time, their efforts, and their talents to help their neighbor. In some cases, it's a neighbor they didn't know. Whether it's a tornado in Evansville or the hurricane in Katrina, people have always volunteered to go help their fellow Americans whenever there was a disaster.
We have with us today Kendra Hutzler. Kendra is a student at Ireland Elementary School. Kendra helped collect 150 backpacks of supplies for kids and families impacted by Hurricane Katrina. Ireland Elementary School students raised nearly $3,500, which was matched by Jasper Engines and Transmissions. 2005. Is John Moore. John is not only a fireman, but a bus driver as well, and a number of the firefighters went down by school days. These volunteers are ready.
The ceremony took place at the Du Bois County Museum. Following that ceremony,
Yep. The picture on the wall there is Gerhard Welp. He has the largest tombstone in the northwest corner of the Snellville Cemetery. He had two boys. They were both jewelers. One was in Jasper, one was in Huntingburg.
And finally, he figured it was the coon that's in the cornfield back there. So he put so he drew a coon in there, so that makes it complete now, I guess.
But we're lucky to have all these volunteers. And Tom Shum, the art teacher.
volunteers could be found on July 4th. This is all volunteer, isn't it?
Do what?
Volunteer?
All volunteers. Pays well, though.
Pays well?
Pays well, yeah.
What kind of pay do you get?
All the water you can drink. I mean, look here, we got cheese. All right, no broken.
Members of the Huntingburg YMI volunteer to serve at the annual YMI picnic to raise funds for their upcoming projects and events. Smells good.
Want a boat? Oh, dude, talk to that man right there.
Okay.
That's him.
So you're selling turtle soup.
Yes.
These guys, why am I? These guys all get a free bowl. That's what they get paid, right?
Yeah. A little extra.
This is all volunteer.
Oh, yes. Yeah. All volunteer. Come on down and get it. They come back year after year.
Line up early.
So, line up early, yeah.
Looks like this one's empty.
Yeah.
Did you guys start at 4 a.m. or when did you start on this?
5 o'clock, 4 kettles.
Okay.
260 gallons.
And you got about one kettle left.
Yep. Got about 60. Probably got 100 gallons left.
And work at the annual auto show.
$500 top prize. There's two $500 prizes, two $200 prizes. YMI Club.
And you do that with that? You do a bunch of things during the year?
Right, to give scholarships out to the students and just help out the community.
Okay. And you guys are volunteering here?
Right.
We are.
Looks like you got a cool spot, though. It's nice shade.
Yeah, we do have a nice breeze.
At the auto show, judges check out the auto details. So how many entries so far?
We've got 57. We usually have close to 100, but I think the rain kind of...
Does it rain? It hasn't rained yet.
Well, the clouds in. It's raining in Washington and Bedford and Mitchell. None of those people showed up today.
So you guys volunteer every year to do this?
We don't get paid. Yeah, we've done it for how many years now? She said 12. 12 years, I think.
12? Yeah. So there must be some kind of pay that you get.
Free soft drinks. Probably so. Yeah, but we've got our air conditioner here.
Yeah, I noticed.
It's not bad.
Hi. Find a speck that shouldn't have been there?
Yeah.
What do you look for?
I'm on the engine compartment.
Okay.
I'm looking on that. Everybody's got a different area that they look at.
He wouldn't let nobody else do it.
Yeah, man, he knows his business. Authenticity, cleanliness, stuff like that. Just different things.
You had about like a 10, 20 checkpoint list that you go on?
Yeah, we look at different things, see what's original, how it's put together, how it's painted up.
Yeah, we always get the young guys too.
So what are you looking for?
Lights and trim. Check out all the chrome, check around the headlights, see how the chrome is, make sure it's perfect or not.
Down Tennessee. Went down there and bought it. Decided we want to do one ourselves.
So there's a lot of evenings and stuff working on this then?
Yeah.
Worth it?
And a lot of help. Yeah, it was worth it.
Well, your help. Who were your volunteers?
Just a couple friends of mine.
Okay.
3 of us worked on it for quite a while. Just a little hot.
Okay, we got some giveaways here.
Get in bed, get all comfortable, get all nice and open. And she can stand up. Thinking over her head will pop out and he's in a black truck. They come up on the porch. Yeah, Rascal, my cat, says hello. Talking to your mom on the phone. She called me one morning. I told her I was going to sit down on the back porch and have a cigarette because I was smoking now. And he was coming along. Hello. And he got closer and closer and closer and closer. He got complainer. He stopped. And your mom says, well, I guess I better let you go.